You know, something I've noticed over the years in Thailand. Some men go there looking happier and somehow end up angrier than ever before. Not all men, not even most men, but some. You see them everywhere online. In YouTube comments, Facebook groups, live stream chats, forums that look like they haven't been updated since Windows XP was released. And they all sound the same. Thai women are all the same. Thailand is fake. Everyone is using you. Don't trust anybody. You can almost hear the emotional damage through the keyboard. And listen, I understand where some of it comes from. A lot of men have had bad experiences in Thailand. Some have been lied to, cheated on, manipulated, used financially, emotionally drained. Some lost huge amounts of money and some got their hearts broken badly. That stuff is real. But here is the important part. Bad experiences should make us all wiser, not bitter, because bitterness changes people. It slowly turns them into angry, cynical versions of themselves that can't enjoy anything anymore. And honestly, sometimes Thailand isn't even the real issue. Sometimes Thailand just exposes issues that were already there long before the plane ever landed in Bangkok. And that's exactly what I want to talk about today. Because I genuinely think some Western men are simply not cut out for relationships in Thailand, and there's nothing wrong with admitting that. That's not failure, that's just self-awareness. A very rare thing in modern society where everybody thinks every failed relationship automatically makes them a victim of an international conspiracy. We are incredible creatures. One breakup and suddenly they're geopolitical experts on Southeast Asia. Now, a lot of men arrive in Thailand emotionally vulnerable without even realizing it. And that's the truth. Many guys come from stressful lives back in the West. Divorce, loneliness, isolation, financial pressure, cold relationships, no affection, no excitement, no purpose. Then they arrive in Thailand and suddenly life feels different. People are smiling, women are more feminine, the atmosphere feels lighter, you feel noticed again, alive again. And for some men, that emotional contrast hits hard, especially if they've been emotionally starving for years. The problem is, some men mistake emotional relief for genuine compatibility, and that's dangerous because feeling good is not the same thing as building a stable, long-term relationship. And Thailand can create emotional intensity very quickly, especially when loneliness has been following somebody around like a stray dog for the last 10 years. Then suddenly, somebody gives them affection and attention, and boom! They're mentally planning a wedding after 6 days and a mango sticky rice. Whoa, calm down, mate. You don't even know her surname yet, and even if you could, you probably couldn't pronounce it. And this is where a lot of problems begin. Some men don't fall in love with the woman, they fall in love with the fantasy of escape, of being wanted, of starting over, of becoming young again, the fantasy that Thailand will heal every emotional wound they've carried for the past 20 years. That's a huge burden to place on another human being. No relationship can survive unrealistic expectations forever. Eventually, reality arrives. It always does. Usually wearing flip-flops and carrying a phone full of problems. Now, Let me say something clearly. There are wonderful Thai women in Thailand. Absolutely wonderful. Loyal, kind, hardworking, supportive, family-oriented. But there are also manipulative people, just like every country on planet Earth. This idea that Thailand is either all angels or all scammers is nonsense. Reality is always somewhere in the middle. The issue is, some Western men arrive completely unprepared for cultural differences, and the cultural differences are real, very real. Family obligations in Thailand can be very different from Western culture. Financial expectations can be different. Communication styles can be different. Westerners often communicate directly. Thai culture is often more indirect. Many Western men don't understand this. They think she's lying to me, when sometimes she's simply avoiding confrontation or trying to keep harmony. Now, obviously, sometimes people are lying. Let's not become naive spiritual monks sitting cross-legged pretending manipulation doesn't exist. It absolutely does exist. But not every misunderstanding is some elaborate scam operation run from a village in Isan with CIA-level coordination. Sometimes people are just culturally different, and some men genuinely cannot adapt to that. But again, that's okay. Not every man is suited for cross-cultural relationships. Some men struggle with language barriers, family expectations, financial support, different emotional dynamics, and different social values, and instead of accepting incompatibility, they become resentful. That resentment slowly grows over time. And this is where things start becoming unhealthy, because eventually some men stop seeing individuals. Every woman becomes the same, and that's dangerous thinking. Once somebody starts viewing millions of people through the lens of one bad relationship, they've already lost perspective. Now imagine applying that logic everywhere else in life. I had one bad meal in Italy, the entire country is finished. It sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. But emotionally hurt people often stop thinking rationally. Pain distorts perspective, and the internet makes this far worse, because now bitter people gather together online, reinforcing each other's negativity 24 hours a day. One angry man becomes 50 angry men, sitting in comment sections discussing female hypergamy like they're professors at the University of Emotional Damage. And the scary part is, some of these men never recover emotionally. They become trapped inside the same anger for years. You see guys in Thailand still ranting about a relationship that ended in 2011. Brother, Barack Obama was still president. Let it go. Life moved on. But bitterness is addictive, and that's the problem. It gives people identity, purpose, something to blame. Because if everything else is somebody else's fault, you never have to look inward. And sometimes the uncomfortable truth is some men ignored every single red flag imaginable. Some men moved too fast, trusted too easily, tried to buy love, ignored obvious warning signs, and believed fantasy over reality. Some men meet women in nightlife environments, then act shocked when the relationship becomes unstable. Come on. If you walk into emotional chaos wearing rose-tinted glasses, don't act surprised when things become emotionally chaotic. Now, that doesn't mean people deserve mistreatment. Nobody deserves that. But adults do have responsibility for their decisions. And I think this is one of the healthiest lessons men can learn in Thailand. Attention is not love. Affection is not loyalty. And chemistry is not compatibility. Massive difference. Some men never learn that. And the sad part is, many genuinely good guys become emotionally hardened after bad experiences. They stop trusting completely. They stop opening up. They stop enjoying life. Every interaction becomes suspicion, and that's no way to live. Especially in a country like Thailand, which honestly has so much beauty beyond relationships. The culture, the food, the humour, the people, the slower pace of life, the friendships, the freedom many people feel in Thailand. Thailand is bigger than your failed relationship. One bad experience should not make somebody hate an entire country or culture. That's irrational, and deep down, most people know it. But pain can turn intelligent people into emotional extremists. I've seen men in Thailand become obsessed with warning everybody constantly. Every conversation becomes negative. Every topic becomes, don't trust anyone. At some point, you're no longer protecting yourself. You're actually poisoning yourself. And I'll be honest, some men would genuinely be happier remaining single in Thailand. But there's this strange pressure online where people act like every man needs a relationship to validate his own existence. No, he doesn't. Some men are happier, single, peaceful, healthy, financially stable, travelling, enjoying friendships, enjoying freedom without emotional drama. That's perfectly valid, and I think more men really do need to hear that. Because forcing yourself into relationships that fundamentally do not suit your personality or emotional capacity usually ends badly, especially abroad, especially when loneliness is driving the decisions. Loneliness makes people ignore reality, and that's true everywhere on planet Earth, not just Thailand. And honestly, a lot of the happiest long-term expats that I've met are very balanced people. They don't idolize Thailand, but they don't hate it either. They understand Thailand is a real country with good people, bad people, honest people, manipulative people, kind people, and damaged people, just like literally everywhere else on this planet. It's funny how we travel across the world expecting another country to magically remove human nature. Bit ambitious, really. And at the end of the day, Thailand didn't create bitterness in these men. Usually the bitterness came from unresolved expectations, emotional dependency, fantasy thinking, and loneliness and disappointment colliding together. Thailand simply became the stage where it all unfolded. And I genuinely believe this. A bad relationship should teach you wisdom, not hatred. Because once resentment becomes your personality, life gets very dark very quickly. So if somebody listening to this has been hurt in Thailand, learn from it, grow from it, and ultimately become wiser from it. But don't let it consume your identity. Don't become one of these permanently angry men online, spending every day attacking strangers because of unresolved pain from 10 or 20 years ago. Life is way too short for that. Thailand can still be beautiful, life can still be peaceful, and happiness does still exist. But only if bitterness doesn't take over your entire mind first. And honestly, that lesson applies far beyond just Thailand.